of everything.
So we have to watch out.
No, on the weekend.
We're on, right?
All right, so today we had. All right, so today, I think everyone is expecting like explosions and fireworks and Raupesh, sort of when Bigavelli says when cooning goes wrong, part one, but obviously.
Raupesh ran.
Yeah, but obviously the situation is this: Raupesh does not represent anyone from what you might consider to be the right. Not the far right, but the right. And I'm talking about people that are associated with Tommy Robinson's camp. And I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of whether you agree with Tommy Robinson, because that's a different topic altogether. But does Tommy Robinson agree with Ralph's views? No. Yeah, and until people start finding evidence and giving me evidence, then you can't say that. And so Ralph is his own entity. He's a lone degenerate who is deluded to the point that he hates himself so much that he would deport himself. Now, the difference between me and Ralph in the sense of our kind of ideology, I don't want to deport no one apart from maybe him. Yeah? I want to deport the extremists on all sides, including the far right, including the degenerates like him. They all have to go at some point or be detained or whatever, in my opinion. And so this is the thing. Both sides have extremists. Now you have extremists on the Islamic side, obviously, and on the far right. And both of them just need to go on a desert island and just literally finish themselves off. Not like that, you dirty buggers, but finish themselves physically, yeah? So, I mean, today it was a little bit silly. Everyone was hyping this up as being, oh, Raj versus Raupesh and all that. Now, this kind of behavior needs to stop as well. And I'm guilty of it, but I had to kind of show that I'm not going to allow people to be bullied out of the park. It doesn't matter if they're a female, they're a Muslim, they're transgender, they're gay, it doesn't matter. The point is everybody should be allowed to come to the park without feeling intimidated and feeling like they can't come to the park. Unfortunately, as of today, that's not the case, as we can see. But hopefully, if everyone starts kind of knocking their heads together and start realizing that this is a place for discussion, at some point we'll reach a stage that, we can have, youngsters here, we can have like vulnerable people, we can have the LGBTQ and, Muslim sisters and Muslim and other women come to the park without them being slandered online, be called hoes, be called this, and everything being kind of sexualized about the women that come to the park and defaming their character. Because when you call a woman a hoe, you are damaging her reputation, yeah? If you want to call me a pigeon, big deal. If you want to say I'm an idiot, cool. If you want to say something about my family, cool. But with Raupesh, I'll say something about Raupesh, you deluded big-eared prick. You started attacking my mother. You said, if I don't stop doing what I'm doing to protect Rashma and other people, that you will start going to war with my mum. Now I'm going to say something. That's when you lost the plot. And that's when you lost. Because up to that point, I was still going to go, okay, I'll tell you off. I'll never speak to you again because of what you did, but I would have just left you alone. But once you bring my mother into it, in terms of threats that you're going to come around my house and talk to my mum, you're going to go to a war with my mum, you're going to destroy my mum's mind. My mum is a 75-year-old innocent woman. Whatever my political beliefs are, she does not agree with them, doesn't even really know my political beliefs. I don't really talk about it. And she's a frail old woman. So I see this as direct threats to me. And I have every right to then call up whoever I want, because there's a lot of people that support Ralph. Oh, Raj, you called this person, you called that person. And you know who I'm talking about, the two most annoyingest voices in the universe. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Together, it's like a supersonic, screeching that I've never heard before. And the thing is, to these individuals, the same people that are called to find out who Ralph was are the same people are called who come down to support me when I was escorted at the park. You was okay with me being escorted when I was escorted at the park to call them, but you're now saying these guys are far right extremists now because I called them on Ralph. Yeah? Ralph, you're done. You're done. I told you during the week, once you bring my mother into this and you started threatening me to that level, you was gonna be my bitch. And I'm gonna walk you around like a kutta, yeah? And I'll walk you around like a kutta. You ran off. I'm gonna be here next week as well. And let's see if you come up to me again, because I know that you are shook. And I'm going to say something. You should be shook. Yeah? You should be shook. You're running your mouth. You're talking about banned terrorist organizations online, that you're going to get them to go for me, like National Action. If the police are listening, why are you not doing something against this man who is talking about a banned terrorist organization, is threatening women, is threatening Muslim women, threatening people's parents, threatening to dox them? I need to ask the police why he's still allowed to walk about just freely with no hassle. Is he working for somebody that is trying to provoke a kind of a situation in the park by bringing in a brown man who has no connection to anybody in the right that I know of any substance, and he's coming in here saying that he wants to deport people en masse, he wants to kill people who can't leave, and calling people the N-word all week, calling them jungle bunnies and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to say something to Respect the horsey. Get back in your stable, de-hoof, take the saddle off and retire, because you're done out here. Because you're an individual that was gunning for me today, and you said some stuff. I'm going to look at the video to see if you said what somebody has told me you said between me and Rashma Akhtar. I'm going to see if you made that slanderous claim. Because if you made that slanderous claim, I would classify that as being a defamation of character and trying to belittle a Muslim sister, her character, and doing what you're always trying to condemn other people doing, which is why you're a hypocrite. Why did you not combat Ralph when he was down here and tell him why is he calling black people the N-word, jungle bunnies, and all of that kind of stuff? Where's your furore over that? Nah, you don't have it. All you're obsessed about is me. I've always condemned Ralph. Watch every video, especially after the New Zealand attack, when he done the gun side, I said, I condemn you. I will deport you first. You are the problem, and I said that from months ago. But obviously you do hear it, but because you're such a manipulative little sod, you pretend that you don't. A bit like your hypocrisy with agreeing with Islamic slave trade, but you're always condemning, rightly so, the transatlantic slave trade. So it's obvious that what you are is a hypocrite, and if you come down and then you try and sort out Ralph in terms of verbally about the fact that he's cussing out black people, I might take you seriously. But instead you're nudging women and shit like that. So you're done out here, man. But to Ralph as well, you're done as well. Anyway, big up the kuffar, we run things.
Content over everything. From your belly.
Come, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
Trying to make no point here.
Listen.
Earlier, I was saying, some Muslims that ISIS is Muslims in the eyes of some Muslims. And they were saying no. So look, so we got someone saying no, someone saying yes. So what's the answer? How is that? Because